Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Word here with another video, and today I'm going to be bringing you into Legend League. We got 2 days left in the season, or 3 days, I guess, including today. It's time to lock in. Bringing you Fireball Rocket Loons. I'm bringing this army in today with a little bit more minions to help with cleanup. I've got the Royal Champion in it with the Spear and Shield. Warden with Fireball, obviously, with the Sneezy instead of Jelly to be safer. I got the Super Minions in the CC. Yeah, this is the army we've been running for a little bit. Let's go crush some bases with it. And today we didn't get some amazing defense with 311, so you know what? We got to take what we got, and we can reset 5920 here, which would probably be outside the top 1K, but with a couple days left, we always got us a chance. So let's give ourselves the chance today and get in the first one. All right, so we're into the first base, Tampana Empire, El Tano. Um, I'd like a fireball in most places on this base. Either Rage Tower is really good. Just trying to see if I can set up a Flame Flinger. I'm not really seeing it, to be honest with you. But we'll see right here. I don't really like a Flame Flinger on this one. I'm just going to go with the Siege Barracks. If I can hit the Fireball, I won't be worried. But setting it up isn't always that easy. I think I saw somebody hit it, though, the other day like this. And I never have set one up like this. So I'm going to try it myself. If you take down this Wizard Tower, I got to make sure there's no Tesla first. But it's just two invis right here. Much easier than any setup I've ever done. I usually go for an angle and it's many invis. So yeah, that's a new one I've learned. I didn't know I actually was going to get the Crusher Mortar. I should have counted the tiles, but I don't know if I could have hit the Fireball or the Quakes anyway. But Headhunters down just in time. I was able to pay attention to that, get the King. I'm going to, whatever air defense I go to, I'm going to snipe out the other one so that it can't hit my healers. Looks like I'm going to the bottom side, so I'll take down the top side right there. A lot of skeletons coming down right here, so I'll send in an Archer to help. Maybe the Valk would have been nice, but it is what it is. Alright, we're still walking right here, and yeah, I think my Warden should get some really nice pathing. I'm just looking for my Skeleton spell. I'm trying to decide. I think using it around this Monolith would be nice. I think so. Okay, I don't think... I've heard that these Firecrackers aren't too devastating, but they are doing a lot of damage to me. I did get them, though, but I heard they weren't too bad, so I was trusting that. But gonna get a Baby Dragon down because we really do need to funnel this in time. I've lost my King on a couple of these attacks recently, like to the funnel, so I'm really trying to make sure I can funnel that well right here. But keeping an eye on my Warden because I really do not want him to go down. I think that Queen should pull my King in, which will be nice. Maybe not quite. I thought it was going to, but Warden's still going strong right here. King ability is probably going to go off fairly shortly. I'm going to use the wall break right there to help my Queen go in. And yeah, bunch of Rocket Loons come out right there. There's the Queen ability. Druids to come in and help, but they're on the Super Minions. That's not ideal. King is still just kind of holding right here. Don't really like that, but the Druids are not helping me out at all. Okay, Warden's still walking right there. My King's literally doing nothing, so that's not great on this base, but my Warden's kind of walking the entire base. And then I'm probably going to use the Royal Champion for the Town Hall. I have it if I need it. We'll kind of see where it ends up, what I need it on, but I do have it right there. I'll probably send her in. Yep, just like that right there. Pick it off. Warden is still walking pretty fine right here. Gonna get a Headhunter in for the enemy Minion Prince. Now the Rage Tower goes off, so there's a little bit of base left for sure, but I think my Royal Champion can clean it up. Gonna take down the, whatever it's called right there, Ricochet Cannon. I froze the Minion Prince, which wasn't an amazing freeze, but I think we're doing all right. My Warden's gonna join in with the Minion or the Royal Champion right there, and here I'm gonna get a poison. I'm running really low on time though, so I just gotta make sure I can get through this quick enough. I've got the cookies down now, and I think what I'm gonna do right here is rage up these 4 balloons and hope I can get down this multi in time because that would really help out. Then I can get onto this gold storage or dark elixir storage, sorry, and we do. So we get the 3-star swag in the ice block. My King didn't go in with the troops, and that kind of didn't help my Queen at all. She got really cooked, but we still get the 3-star, and let's move on to the next one. All right, second hit of the day. Can't pronounce this name from Undertakers. And yeah, I'm looking for a fireball on this core. Honestly, what do I want to hit? I'm looking at this one. I think I've tried to go for a Wizard Tower on this base and it didn't quite work. I've hit this base a couple times though. But okay, we got to look at the army camps. I've kind of forgotten a bit about them, but don't want to charge them. So I definitely want to charge from this bottom side. And I think hitting the Fire Spitter would be a phenomenal fireball. So we'll see if we can walk in right there. There's the healers down with the Warden. And yeah, he's going to start his walk, which might take a little bit right here, but that's okay. I don't know if I can even sneak a Archer in because the mortars or a minion because of the air defense. So I'll just let my Warden walk, I guess, and do his thing. I'm going to be planning a fireball for that core. Like I said, hitting the Fire Spitter would get me kind of that entire core. I think barring the far multi, I think I get the Gear Tower even. But going to keep my Warden alive through this right here. And I think Yeah, I'm thinking no. I need a Siege Barracks. I don't see a Flame Flinger on this base, so I'm just going to keep an eye out right here for where I can use these Invis, and I'm thinking right after this Expo goes down, I'll get a nice Ice Block, triple Invis. So I'm going to hit that right there just to be safe. There's 3 Invis. We go for the whole core. Let's see what we get. Yeah, we get the Gear Tower just as I thought, actually, which is really nice. Now I got a Raged Up Town Hall, though, so I do got to be a little careful right here because that does do a lot of damage to me, so I do got to be a little careful right there. I'm going to Rage Up my Warden with the Headhunter because he's going to get into a lot of trouble right here. The Headhunter did absolutely nothing, but the CC is still here, so I don't really want to just like use a freeze, or a poison, sorry. But I mean, I guess I will do what I have to do. I'm going to freeze the Monolith right here because that does some big damage. King comes out to aggro my Warden, so I got the Headhunter, but it gets sprung, and then that's weird. My Warden's still targeting that right there. Yeah, we're actually walking really nicely through this base. I'm probably going to rage my Warden just to get through the mono, because if I can do that, I feel like we've got this 3-starred. So I'm going to walk in right here. I'm going to use a Valk to snipe down right there, the Royal Ghost. My Queen's going to be walking that direction. My Warden should get the Town Hall and have no problems going to the right. It might come towards my Queen, but I kind of just hope not. Yeah, okay, it did go to the right. That's awesome right there. I have an Invis available if I want, but I'm going to be trying to save my spells. Let's see what my Warden does right here, because I could, use an Invis or my Royal Champion, but I think with the Rocket Loons, I'll be able to tank that Multi-Arch Tower well enough, and we should be able to crush this base. But I'm going to pick up the cookies right there because they're really strong. A couple Rocket Balloons, as I mentioned, to kind of just tank that Multi-Archer Tower. I'll take down the air defense right there because then I can kind of start cleaning up this corner. And this base just looks crushed. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot left. I don't have a wall break for the cookies, unfortunately, but don't even really need anything. That's a 1 HP Multi-Inferno in the core that I could just use my Royal Champion on, but I'll send it from the top side right here just to clean up. There's no point, waiting extra long on this attack. We've slammed it, and, I'm happy with that. So let's just get the 3-star. And, yeah, really clean attack right there. And let's keep it rolling. Great start to the day. All right, so I think I'll probably cut it out of the video just, I don't know, because I don't really want to include the footage that cuts off. But I did just have a disconnect, which is awful. I feel just really terrible that that just happened because, I really was crushing that base, and then unfortunately I'm not going to get rewarded for it, which sucks, but it kind of is what it is. There's nothing I can do about that. I've never had a disconnect in a Legend League attack, and then all of a sudden it just happens, so that sucks a lot, but I'm going to try and get over that and finish the day out for you guys, because you know what, I want to produce a video for you guys with this army, and I mean, that's only 7 attacks instead of 8, so it's not that bad, and I hope you guys understand that, that's just awful. I'm going to try and lock in, but I've never had that happen, and it kind of might sell my rank this season, so that just, yeah, makes me feel a little bad right now, but that's okay. I'm going to try my best for you guys and focus up. A fireball in the multi-arch tower is not too bad, and it's pretty easy to hit, but I'd also wouldn't mind the ricochet cannon, or deep into the crusher mortar if I can, something to kind of funnel out that side. But the rage tower is scary, so I feel like I'd take the multi-arch tower on this one. My Warren's going to walk through the expo, and it does look like he's going to get stuck right there, unfortunately. I think what I'm going to do is actually just pop this invis, make him target there right now. There's a very nice fireball. It's not OP, but it's pretty good. Can't quite set up a log launcher, so I'll just let my Warden continue walking right here. He's going to go into the spitter eventually, which isn't ideal, but kind of is what it is at this point. I'm not going to scoop up any heroes as well, or any like of the friendly troops, so I don't really know how I want to approach this one. I got to think for a second, because that fireball doesn't set up heroes good into either direction on this base, but I think I'll try to first of all scoop up the cookies. Let's see what they can do. They're probably too far to pull my Warden, which would be nice that they don't. Gonna use a balloon right there, but it's probably gonna pull the furnace. Yep. I'm just worried that like right there, right, the furnace was distracted by the balloon, and then the balloon went down, so that it might jump to my healers. So far it hasn't, but I'm a little worried that it might. There's one right there going for a booger. Okay, looks like my Warden's actually fine. I gotta start my heroes though. They're a little bit late right here. But my Warden, I got to keep my eye on him. He's walking, though. Okay, so he'll be fine right there. Not too bad. Going to go down with the Skeleton Spell to try and distract the Crusher away from my heroes. But I'm going to Rage right here because they're going to mean a lot of damage. Warden's fine. He's going to be walking for a little bit right here. The King's not doing very well, though. He's probably going to go to Ability, which is not great right there. But I do have a nice block, so we'll see when I pop it right there. There's the Spiky Ball. Mostly the King ability was bad, like the Quake Boots, but the Spiky Ball was phenomenal right there. So I'll take that. The Warden's taking his merry time right here, and I'm going to be popping the Royal Champion to go get the Town Hall because I don't really have the time to wait. for that to go down because it's going to be shooting my heroes this entire time otherwise. So my Wardens walk in, as I mentioned. He might get pulled by the World Champion, which also isn't great, but it kind of is what it is at this point. I needed to put her in to get that. I got a good freeze value, though, right here. Freeze the Gear Tower and Fire Spitter. And yeah, my World Champion's still alive, so this isn't looking too bad, if I'm honest with you. Pop an Invis right here. I'll probably Rage right there. Get 2 Headhunters in for the enemy king that's invisible and I couldn't target. But yeah, we'll see right here. I'm getting a little low on time, but I do have the Queen right there. As long as I can get that storage in the core, we'll see if I can get it down in time, but I think I will. Yep, okay, nice. We'll get the triple right there, which is awesome, on a little bit of a weird base, and let's just try and keep it rolling. All right, we roll into an Invis Rage base. This is what I was expecting a little bit more to get today. We look at 3 army camps up top, so I'm going to approach from the bottom, and if I can fireball this Fire Spitter, I'll be a happy man. I won't get the Clan Castle, but that's A-okay with me, and to be honest, I see a very good Flame Flinger right here. So I'm just going to try and set it up. If I can take out, some of those buildings. Okay, if the Tesla was targeting me right there, I was going to have to go with some quick rocket loons, but I thought I was going to be out of range of it, and I was. I'll go with a Hog Rider right here just to check for any skeleton traps. Yeah, look at that. A little deeper in the base that I wasn't going to be able to test. And some of them died right there, but Barb and Archer should be able to take those out. I'll just make sure, though, because I do have a Valkor, a minion otherwise, but my Warden's looking like he's doing all right. It might take him a little bit, but I think I can see right here the vision on an Invis on the Builder Hut Rico, and then Expo Scatter Shot, and that should be pretty good. I'll funnel this out. Okay, there is a Tesla. I was a little worried about that, but it's all right. I'll just snipe it down, I guess. There might be one on the right side, but I'm not too worried about it. My Warden just needs to get down this Gear Tower, and honestly, since he's on skeletons, I'll just take this value as it is. Fireball the core right there. A phenomenal fireball. Since the skeletons were distracting me, I was happy to go in with it. I could have skeleton spelled right there, but I was a little too slow, so I'm going to try and make sure my Warden doesn't take damage from this Gear Tower. Really nice right there. I'm getting a Headhunter ready. Now I'll pop it in, but it's just going to die right there. So not incredibly useful, but the Flame Flinger is going crazy as I kind of thought it would. And I want to get... Okay, it's actually targeted right there. I didn't think it was going to be targeted, but I want to get my heroes in right here. So I'm going to do so. Warden's still safe. I figured he was, but always good to make sure. I'm going to get a Valken right there with them. Keeping an eye on him, as I've talked about a couple times now. Don't want him to go down. But with that fireball, I shouldn't really be able to fail, if I do just even anything right. So my king is going to go outside the base, so I'll pop his ability to keep my queen, a little bit healthy right here. But going to have to pop the poison right there. There's a really nice skeleton spell on this back end. And yeah, I kind of can go with anything right here. I can either go with my Royal Champion on these 2 defenses at the bottom, which I think I'm going to do right there just to snipe them out. It'll kind of go into the core afterwards, and yeah, that'll slam the base. I'll take down the Hero Hall. That'll be the only thing left. And this Monolith and Minion Prince is a very good freeze value, so I'll pop that right there. But this base is absolutely crushed. I mean, it's a perfect base for my army, so you got to crush it, and I did. So I can force spell space and a bunch of troops. A very, very clean, methodical attack. Exactly how this army is meant to be played. And yeah, let's keep it going. Alright, let's roll into the next one. We've got a Hook Tower in the core right here on E. This guy's not in a clan. Very interesting. You don't see that very often. But looking at the army camps, I kind of do need to charge from that top side, which is a little scary. But looking at the Hook Tower range, I can take out the storages and stuff with no trouble. If I can fireball the multi in the core, it only gets the multi and Hook Tower, but that is kind of what I got to do. Actually, I think what I might be looking for... 1, 2, 3... Okay, let me look for a fireball. I want to walk the top side, but 1 tile, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so if I fireball the Monolith, I get some decent value. I know I don't get the Hook Tower, but I might be okay with that, to be honest. On this base, something new I'm going to try right here is going for the Flame Flinger. I hope the flames don't get the cookie activated, but it might, so we kind of got to keep an eye on that. But it'll get down the multi-archer tower, and I think the ricochet cannon, but I might not have placed it in a spot for that, so we'll have to find out. Okay, I'm in an invis right here on the mono. Taking down the archer tower is always nice, and we're on the monolith again. I'm actually in a rage because there's 2 expos as well as the monolith right here. So I'm going to kind of warden walk a very heavy section right here. And at this point, it looks like I'm going to be fireballing the core. I don't see any other way to get the Hook Tower. I was going to maybe try and get my king into it, but I don't see that happening right here. So now that we're on skeletons, I think a triple invis like that's fairly easy for me to hit. And just like that, boom. We get it. We get the quakes down. That dies. There's an ice block. I don't know how well we're going to save my Warden, though, but I'll Rage, get the Headhunter in right there. I got to Freeze as well onto the enemy Minion Prince. I'll pop it right there. And my Warden is alive. We get the Minion Prince down, and we're on the Scatter, so I don't have much more spell support, but it is just an Expo, and it is just a Scatter right there, so I think we should be okay. I'm going to pop this right here. There's a Wall Break. All I have is a Skeleton spell, but my Warden shouldn't be in too much damage right now. It's just a single Expo, so we might be actually okay on this one, which was very scary for a second right there. I was a little worried that the Ice Block was wasted. Sometimes you just got to let your Warden die, but I think that was a very good use of it right there. Honestly, this Ice Golem is going to be huge to stop the Expo from shooting me because my Warden was getting a little low right there. So that's really nice. I'm going to get a Druid in right here to help out. That's going to be to funnel my King back into the base. Actually, a second Druid I'm going to use right there because she's going to go to ability. King goes back into the base right there, which is very nice. There goes his ability. We're going to scoop up these cookies, which always help out, and then probably going to send my Royal Champion into this side to go get the Town Hall and the core right there. I'm going to take out the air defense to stop wasting any kind of, whatever it's called, rockets on it. I want the rockets to go into the core. I did have to poison the heroes right there, so this furnace will rain a little bit of terror on me, which sucks a little bit, but, I feel like I kind of had to use that to keep my Warden alive, so we'll see if that's the play. At this point, I don't have much alive. My Royal Champion's kind of in trouble, and I got a bunch of cookies, though, so we'll see how much value they really can provide right here, but they're kind of getting frozen up. My Royal Champion's mostly what I got left with my Warden as support, and it looks like I'll triple it, though. Yep, they're going to go in, finish off the rest of this base, and get the 3 stars. So that's very nice. This is a tough base with the hook isolated in the core because I need to get it down with the fireball. But I did a pretty good job, and let's get in the next one. All right, we got 2 more, and let's see how well we can finish this day. I do see... okay, that hook tower I'm going to expose with my King. I'll let my King get pulled right in there. That'll be beautiful. But on this one... because there's all those troops right there. Like the friendly troops that I really don't want my Warden to be pulled in by. So I might try and set something up right here. We'll see. What's the Royal Champion range? Okay. I think what I'm going to try and do is walk my Warden down from this side where there's none of those event troops. Probably going to be using the Siege Barracks as my guess at this moment in time. I think that's what I'll be doing. But I'll let my Warden walk a little bit right here. And then probably... unless there's some skeletons that come out, I probably will use an Ice Block and try and get my Fireball into that Rage Tower. It's not looking too bad at the moment. We'll see right here. So what I'm going to do is, let's see. Okay, I wanted to see if the Queen came out or not, but I'm going to wrap around this base pretty far, so I will need the time on this one as much as I can save. But I think we'll be all right. My Warden hopefully doesn't step up too far right there. We're on the Queen. I'll get a Headhunter in to just support right there. Now I'll Ice Block, and it's going to be a simple double invis. I think only 1 Quake's actually needed for all those buildings. Nice, so I'll get to save one for my Royal Champion, which is some huge value right there. I don't want to pull the cookies right there, so I hope I don't. But, yeah, what I'm going to do on this one is get the Queen in right there. I might let my Warden walk just a little bit longer. Oh my goodness, no way, I pulled out the Furnace. Okay, it's not on my healers yet, though, which is really nice. Oh my goodness, it actually hit my healers. And at this point, I'm going to pull my Warden, because what you can do sometimes is if you can pull the Warden healers away from the Furnace, the fire doesn't quite burn at all. So we'll see if that even works out for me. Another one's literally targeting right there, so I'm not really getting much luck keeping my healers alive on this one, and I feel like there's nothing I can do. I've tried my best to pull around it, but yeah, we'll see what we can do right here. I think a Quake will go very crazy, though. Look at that. The healers did stay alive, actually. So pulling your Warden away or Ice Blocking are 2 things I've done many times, and that's what really is going to help you to keep that alive. On this one, I think I'm going to go in with the Quake Royal Champion right there, and that'll go crazy. And I think we've still tripled this one because I can check for any corner Tesla, but I don't think anything's going to be stopping my Royal Champion. Where we should be picking up some friendly troops in a second right here. And I got some Druids to go in. They're on the P.E.K.K.A.s, of course, because they do nothing. Could have maybe tried to get them on my Royal Champion at least, but you know, it is what it is. Going to get a Headhunter in right here, actually, which is awesome. We got a Cycle from my Royal Champion. I actually just let her die because I wasn't paying attention, so that could have been bad. But I do got so many friendly troops that are coming out of this army camp, so shouldn't be a problem right here. My Queen will easily finish off this base. I'll wall break right there, but I think, okay, almost all of that was dead already. But yeah, nice 3-star right here, and we'll get in the final one. Try and wrap it up. Swagging a couple spells right here. And yeah, very, very clean 3-star. And let's get into the last one. All right, final head of the day. And in my eyes, this is for the 320 because I had crushed the base that I disconnected on. So let's lock it in. This is my favorite part of the day. Hitting the scatter shot wouldn't be too bad. I'd get the other scatter shot, Clan Castle, Expo, Rico. But I got to see what else I can set up with that. So on this one, where can I set up that flinger? Because I do like that value right there. Okay, if I could get a flinger, I don't really like that though. So I think I'll probably just stick to the siege barracks. Don't want to, force it if it's not there. I'll take down the builder hut because that also gets the building next to it. And then we should get into the mortar right there. So very good use of those rocket balloons right there. Taking down 3 buildings already and the mortar. Almost. So almost 4 buildings with those 2 rocket balloons. That's awesome. So that's just going to funnel my warden in towards the multi-inferno right there. And I think what I want to do is probably rage him up, let him take down that whole compartment. Then I'll fireball the scatter in the core. And I like that because this compartment's pretty heavy on its own, but I do really want to fireball that core. So I think I can do both right here. I can warden charge of this heavy section, get the value from that, but then get the fireball value into the core. So there's rocket balloons to tank the archer tower as we talked about, but also funnel into the bomb tower to push my warden inside the base. And in turn, they pulled the poison tower, which is awesome. But yeah, my warden dives in right there, which is beautiful. I'm a little worried now of a booger maybe pulling the clan castle troops, but I guess we'll find out what happens right here. My warden is just slowly walking. He's onto a builder hut now. And at this point, I think what I'm going to do is my warden's going to go up there. There's a single invis right there. Nice fireball. Takes down all of the clan castle right there. I'm going to invis my warden once again. We keep him alive barely. Okay, well done though. Pretty well in control, to be honest. I'll get a skeleton spell onto this entry. It probably would have been better onto the monolith. Didn't think about that very well though. Okay, I didn't mean to put a druid. I meant to put a Valk, but I think we'll be okay. That might, I don't know if it actually helps because I'm already full HP, but it is what it is. 1 druid, I guess, is what I'm going to get with my queen right there. I meant to put a wall breaker, so a couple of misclicks right there. I bet you a skeleton would have been better on the monolith, so it could avoid, the town hall right there, but that's okay. I'm going to get a baby dragon onto that, baby dragon onto the royal ghost to just pick him up onto my team. Really bad king ability, but at least the spiky ball should go a little crazy right there. Queen's going to get a druid right here, but now the poison tower is back to hit me, so that's no good. Probably going to rage my warden, so that's what I'm keeping my, eye open for. But these super minions are doing very, very well right there. There's a world champion at this corner because, like I said, my warden's going to be able to warden walk through that whole section. The only thing that's left is this corner. So I'm going to get my world champion into it. There's 2 headhunters to help on the enemy queen. Could poison it if I needed to. Okay, unfortunately, the headhunters don't work. I thought they would for sure. But that's okay. I'm going to freeze the enemy queen right here. Headhunter. Kind of finish up with cleanup right there. And yeah, very nice triple. I'm going to count that as a 320 in my books. I think technically it's a 293 because I went minus 17 on that stupid disconnect. I'll show you afterwards just as proof to show that I didn't just 1-star and, cut it out of the video. But yeah, I really like that triple. And let's just, see what it took us to. So I'm going to reset at 58.93 today. Went minus 18, as I said, with a plus 13 right there on that third attack. And if you just want to look at that third attack, you see right here, only 11 rocket balloons placed. Those spells, I have a bunch missing, like the fireball. I didn't even place my royal champion because, as I said, I disconnected. So really unfortunate. Don't bother showing it because it was a great setup. I was going to triple, but, I didn't. Obviously, there's no point showing it. So that's what happened in that one, which sucks. I haven't had a single disconnect all season, and now I'm going to go minus 18 when, that would have been a plus 9, which isn't amazing, but that's a, 27 trophy swing today. So that's going to be a little bit of a tough reset. Hopefully that can help me to get some bots facing me tomorrow and get a nice bounce back day maybe if I'm lucky, but that'll do it for today's video. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I love using this army and tripling, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.